Welcome to this classwork.com Content Tools training video. In this video, I will take you through how to utilize each one of the content tools located down here on the bottom right of your toolbox. These content tools stay up no matter if you're using the overlays, the math tools, or the authoring tools. So let's get started. The first content tool I will demonstrate is Teacher Text. And just like in all of the overlays, you are going to click and highlight whichever content tool you want to use, and then click and drag where you want your content tool to be located on the activity. Then, you will simply come in here and type in whatever teacher text you want to be visible to your students. This is an excellent way to change any text you want on the activity without having to change the document you uploaded. You can highlight and set the font size. You can set the font color. Let's pick purple. And you can boldface, and you can do any of these other things that you need to. And then, once you have your teacher text in place, simply click Save, and your changes will be saved right in your activity. Now, you may notice that this is just a little bit large for this particular area. So if you want to edit while these blue boxes are around, just click the blue Edit button up here in the top toolbar. You are always free to edit anything within classwork.com. I do want to make this just a little smaller so it fits into the dotted lines that are in the activity. Many people don't realize that you don't have to have these borders around your content. In your teacher text toolbar, there is a little pencil. If I click that pencil, I can remove the border, or I can change that border to any color and customize it. I don't want a border on this one. And I want to make this just a little bit smaller. I also want it to be centered in my box. And then, as always, I click Save My Changes. So what do your students see? I'm going to click on my little preview button up here. And now, instead of seeing a matching game, my students will see Match the Clock with the Right Time. Super simple. The next content tool is the audio tool. Teachers, you have the option to add as many audio files to an activity as you want. You, as the teacher, can record yourself for up to 5 minutes. This is an absolutely fantastic feature if you want to have your students listen to the directions. You can simply click Add Audio, click and drag where you want the audio on your file, and you can record right from here by poking the little red button and record yourself for up to 5 minutes. Click Stop. You can then click Add Audio to the activity. And if you have a pre-recorded audio file, you can also upload that audio file from your computer or wherever you have it stored. Now for the image and the color block. I'm going to do both of these in the same slide here. The first thing I want to point out here as I'm looking at my activity is I see a little present here. It's black and white, and I don't really like the way that that looks on this particular page, so I want to just get rid of it. To do so, I can use the color block tool. Color block acts as a digital whiteout. So I'll click the color block, and I simply click and drag my mouse over the item that I want to have blocked out by that color. And now you can see that little present is now not visible by the students. However, maybe you want to have some sort of colorful thing on there. So I can also add an image. So in order to do that, I click the Image button. I click and drag where I want that image to appear, and I have some choices. I can upload from my computer. If you've got pictures on your computer you want to upload, or you can upload an image from your camera. Full disclosure, if you're not ready for it, if you click this option, your camera will take a picture of you. So just be very aware of that. Or you can upload from a gallery that you might have added already into your activity. I'll go ahead and upload an image from my computer. So I simply click on Pictures, and I find the file that I would like to upload. That picture will pop in down here, and I click Add it to my activity. And then while those blue boxes are around the item, you can resize it as needed. And I do want to take that border off. I just don't like the way that it looks. So I click my little pencil up in my Edit toolbar and click No Border. So what does that look like for my students? Now I have a pretty red title here with some instructions, and then I have a present in color that matches the activity. The next item is adding a link. So a lot of times teachers like to link out to maybe a Google slide presentation or a Google Doc. You can link to any URL here. In my instance, I am going to link out to an article that differentiates between an analog clock and a digital clock. So all you have to do is find your article and copy the link. Then come down here and click Link. Click and drag, and you will paste your URL to the article here. You can add a label, but it's optional. So I have typed in here analog clock versus digital clock, and then click Save My Changes. While the blue boxes are around the link, you can change your font to whatever font you would like it to be. You can change the font size. You can change the font color. Now, I want to show what your students will see. To read about an analog clock versus a digital clock, click here. Then, when I click the link, it will open up in another page, and my students can differentiate and read about an analog clock versus a digital clock. And then they can come in here and write their essay on the difference between an analog clock and a digital clock using that information. The next content tool is video. Many teachers record instructional videos or like to add videos to activate prior knowledge or maybe to provide some review. So what you need to do to add a video is find the video link. This just happens to be a Telling Time YouTube video, so I will open up that video link and I will copy Ctrl+C, and then I will click Video. And in order to add video, you click and drag where you want your video to appear. You paste in the URL. You can get a very quick preview of what that video is going to look like. And then you have a choice. Up here, how do you want the video to be displayed? The Inline choice adds the video straight into the activity. And you can see in the background here, this is what Inline looks like and how it will present itself. Then, I want to demonstrate the floating option for you. So if you have a video that you want your students to watch and you don't have enough room on your slide for the full video, you can choose floating. And what the floating option will do is it will put in a little button here for your students. And you can move that button around to wherever you want it to be displayed on the activity. This one right here is Inline. So what does that look like for your students? I will click my preview button and it displays the video right here in the activity. It starts to play. I've left enough room for my students to watch the video on the slide. But if I chose floating, my students would only see this Watch Video button, and you can always put in a teacher text here telling your students to click the Watch Video button or whatever directions needed. And when they click the button, the floating video will appear over in the space on the right-hand side of your activity. Your students can click and drag it and move it around to wherever they want to. The last content tool I'd like to show you is our Embed Code tool. Many teachers have subscriptions to some third-party websites, and this feature allows you to embed code from those sites. You can embed flashcards, simulations, math manipulatives right in the classwork activity, and your students will be able to interact with that inside the activity. So this right here is asking my students to type the correct time shown on the clock. So I want to find a clock or embed a clock showing some times. So I've already got a clock widget pulled up. I found the embed code. Now I simply copy that embed code and come back to classwork.com. Then click the Embed Code Content tool and click and drag where I would like my clock to be displayed. Then I paste in my code. I can select inline or floating and click Save. And now my clock has populated right here in classwork. I can resize a little bit. I can center it. And then now my students can type the correct time shown on the clock, and that time is 3:40. So, those are our content features. I hope you have enjoyed learning about the content tools and how you can use them in any activity. Please feel free to reach out to us at support@classwork.com if you have any questions.